There was a time when harsh words were spoken, and only now does the person responsible truly understand the depth of the wound they inflicted on you. In the intensity of that moment, they didn't comprehend the weight of what they were saying or the emotional damage their outburst would cause. Anger clouded their judgment, impulse overpowered compassion, and they released words that could never be taken back. But as time has passed and the emotional storm has settled, they find themselves revisiting that moment with a sense of overwhelming regret. What once felt like a fleeting argument or a moment of heated frustration has now transformed into a memory that haunts them. They realize they went far beyond what was reasonable, far beyond what was fair, and crossed a line they now wish with every fiber of their being they had never approached. They replay their words over and over, wishing they could undo them, wishing they could pull back every sharp, careless remark that cut into you. If they could rewrite that moment, if they could go back and approach the situation with clarity, patience, or even silence, they would. But reality doesn't offer rewinds, and that is what burdens them the most. There is a deep ache within them now, a sense that they have lost something immeasurably valuable by their own hand. Reflecting on it feels like watching a painful movie reel, one filled with scenes they wish they could erase. Every moment in that memory seems saturated with regret. They see the opportunities where they could have stepped back, chosen kindness, softened their tone, or tried to understand you instead of reacting in anger. The weight of knowing that they failed you in those moments presses heavily on their chest, a reminder of how easily something precious can be damaged when taken for granted. Now, in the quiet spaces of their mind, they cry over you, not just over the ending, but over the connection they let slip through their fingers. They never expected to miss you this deeply or to feel the loss in such a visceral way. At the time, they didn't see the long-term consequences of their actions. They didn't realize that emotional wounds take root and grow, altering everything that comes after. But now that clarity has finally reached them, they understand all too well. They feel the consequences of their actions like a ripple that never ends, stretching across their thoughts, their emotions, and their daily life. They are haunted by their own voice, by their own choices. What they once dismissed as a simple argument now feels like a defining moment, one that changed the course of your connection. They realize that they are not only suffering from losing you, but are also enduring a form of poetic justice. The emotional turmoil they once put you through has returned to them in a different shape, mirroring the pain they caused. Life has placed them in situations that reflect the inner chaos they once triggered in you. Perhaps it's an overwhelming environment at work where they constantly feel unappreciated or misunderstood. Maybe it's stress and conflict at home, family tension that drains them emotionally, or an unstable relationship with a karmic partner who challenges them in ways they never anticipated. Whatever the circumstances, they now understand what it feels like to be trapped in a cycle of emotional exhaustion, confused, overwhelmed, and questioning their self-worth. This experience has forced them to confront their own behavior. It has made them see, with uncomfortable clarity, the emotional roller coaster they once put you on. The anxiety, the confusion, the feeling of being undervalued, these are emotions they are now experiencing firsthand. And the realization that their own past actions are being reflected back at them only adds to their pain. It's a harsh lesson, but one that is teaching them empathy in a way nothing else could. They are beginning to understand the true impact of their words and actions. They are learning that emotional wounds don't just fade with time, they leave shadows that linger, shaping how a person moves forward. And now, they are living within their own shadows, trying to untangle the emotions they once disregarded in you. Through this painful self-reflection, they have come to understand something far more profound. What existed between you was never superficial. It wasn't a fleeting attraction or a short-lived spark, as they may have once convinced themselves. It wasn't something that could be easily replaced or forgotten. In truth, what you shared with them ran much deeper. It was something meaningful, something powerful, something that touched them on a soul level. They can see that now, though they couldn't recognize it before. And this realization hits them harder than anything else. When they compare what they had with you to what they're experiencing now, the contrast is painfully sharp. Nothing compares. The relationships they encounter now feel shallow, disconnected, or simply lacking the emotional and spiritual depth they felt when they were with you. Even in moments when they attempt to distract themselves, through work, through other people, or through new experiences, nothing fills the void that losing you created. No matter how hard they try to move forward, they find themselves circling back to you, because the connection you gave them was unlike anything they have ever known since. It wasn't just physical chemistry or shared laughter, it was a profound emotional resonance. Being with you felt grounding. It felt comforting. It felt real. They now recognize that with you, they were seen in ways they had never been seen before. You didn't just notice the surface of who they were, you understood their emotional depths, their vulnerabilities, their aspirations, and their fears. You offered them a sense of safety that they didn't know they lacked until it was gone. Being around you made them feel understood, valued, and genuinely cared for. And now that they no longer have that, they feel an emptiness that nothing else seems capable of filling. The absence of your presence in their life has created a void that grows more noticeable each day. They have tried to distract themselves, believing that time would naturally push them forward. They buried themselves in responsibilities, in new connections, in personal goals. But none of it worked. The temporary distractions only highlight what they lost. They can no longer deny that the happiness and contentment they felt with you were rare gifts, gifts they didn't cherish as they should have. With painful clarity, they now understand that they will not find another person like you. You weren't just unique, you were irreplaceable. Your independence, your strength, your confidence, all the qualities that may have once overwhelmed or intimidated them, are now the very qualities they admire and yearn for. They see now that your strength didn't make you distant, it made you resilient. Your independence didn't mean you didn't care, it meant you loved in a healthy, grounded way that they couldn't appreciate at the time. It's as though they are seeing you through an entirely new lens, one shaped by growth and regret. They now appreciate the grace with which you navigated challenges, the determination you showed in your life, and the emotional maturity you displayed in the connection you shared. These qualities draw them even closer to you now, even from a distance. All of this reflection has ignited something deep within them, a sincere desire to fix what was broken. They know the past cannot be rewritten, and they know that apologies alone cannot heal everything. But they want to try. They want to rebuild the bridge that was burned, to mend the trust that was fractured, and to show you, not just through words but through consistent action, that they are not the same person who once let their emotions harm you. They have changed, grown, and learned, and they want the chance to prove that their growth is real. Their journey of self-realization has brought them back to you in their heart and mind. They now see you not as someone they simply cared for at one point, but as someone whose presence shaped them in ways they didn't appreciate until much later. They see you as someone they cannot replace, someone whose impact lingers, someone whose absence they feel every single day. The connection you shared is something they now cherish deeply, something they recognize as rare and meaningful. They feel determined, perhaps for the first time, to fight for it, no matter how long it takes or how difficult the road may be. More than anything, they are ready to take responsibility for the pain they caused and to show you that the person who spoke those harsh words no longer exists. In their place is someone humbled by regret, reshaped by experience, and awakened to the truth of what they lost. And while they cannot demand forgiveness or expect reconciliation, they carry a sincere hope that someday, you may see the change in them and understand the depth of what they now feel.